Hello, 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 hello. Happy New Year. We are back for another segment of Self Love is the Key Wellness. I am Cam the Queen.
My boy, Coach J.
Yes, and we are here today to talk about stepping out of your comfort zone, which makes perfect sense for the new year. People usually have their resolutions, they set their
Yeah,
intentions, and most of the time it means doing something that you're not used to doing regularly, doing something or trying something new, right? So
mhm,
I was talking to a friend, a really good friend of mine, recently who just started her own business. And she said to me, Cam, like, I'm super proud of myself. I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm doing something new. It's a new adventure for me, but I'm also really, really scared
mm,
because I'm getting ready to do some stuff that I've never done before. And I don't know what the outcome's going to be. I don't know what the results are going to be. And she knows that, in the past couple of years, I started my own business and I left the corporate world to pretty much bank on myself and give it a shot. And things have been going pretty well. And she wanted to know, she asked me this. She said, Cam, so what was it? Because you were in a cushy job, you didn't have to leave, you were fine where you were. What was that thing that made you just say, fuck it? Right? She's like, what made you
mhm,
say fuck it? And I told her, I got angry. I got angry and I got tired. I got tired of doing the same thing year in and year out and not feeling like I was really doing all I could do.
mhm,
Push myself to my highest potential. But it was easy to just kind of stay stagnant and stay comfortable and do the same thing over and over again because it was something that I already knew and I didn't have to take any risks. But sometimes to really like maximize your life, you gotta be okay with taking risks, you
that's
know,
true.
doing something new. Yeah. What were you gonna say, Coach Jay?
No, that's true. Like, I mean, I think that, like, you don't have to, like, of course, start a business, you know, tomorrow.
Right.
It's something gradual. Like, you take your time and you take step by step, whether, you know, you, if your goal is to start this business by the end of 2024, for example, then you have the full year. Of course, don't look at it that way, but look at it as, okay, so I'm not saying I'm going to start it tomorrow, and I'm needing to, figure out step by step what I need to do all in, 12 hours. You have time. Maybe tomorrow, where you can do research on yourself or on your business or what you're trying to set up. What
You're
are the
saying
steps
like
that
take
you need?
small steps. Take small
Small
steps.
steps. Yeah,
Hmm.
figure out what are some steps that you need to do, whether it's research, whether it's, figuring out how do you file for a business, how do you file for an LLC, how do you go through the process of, opening certain accounts for your business so that you can, learn how to uh, finance correctly. You're not in a situation later on. Like, you don't want to rush through this process because it's something that, you're building on yourself, like you said, just that you did. So at the end of the day, it's like, as long as you're betting on yourself, then take your time because at the end of the day, you want to make sure it's done right. Talk to people that are, like you, that's trying to start a business or someone that can start a business because I think that
Right.
is really the key. I think a lot of times, unfortunately, a lot of people they want to hold all the information into themselves sometimes, but you do have a couple of people in the world that literally want to educate people and tell people exactly what are the steps that they need to take. And I would say get with those
Right. So
people.
if you come across someone who doesn't want to help you, they're just not your person. And
Hmm.
they're not meant to be with you on your journey. That's all. So
Hmm.
one person tells you no, the next person might say yes.
You just got to keep going, keep asking
Right.
people, keep getting the information, keep trying.
Right.
And Google helps, and no one knows all the answers. Like a lot of people, we figure things out as we go and hope that it things fall the right way, of course, But I mean, I think that when you talk to like-minded people, I think that it's going to be easier for you to get into that place of like, okay, well now I need to now I need to do this step because I've done this and this, so now I need to do this step. Now I need to do this step. Now it just starts flowing a lot easier, opposed to it being like so.
Mhm.
Well, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, and then like you were saying, a lot of times it's just anxiety. Like, our anxiety really do take over a lot of the time, so it makes it harder for us to really focus on taking those steps or
That's
even
right.
like,
We were talking about that. Anxiety will keep you stuck.
yeah,
Anxiety will keep you doing the same things year after year after year
mhm,
because you get complacent and you get comfortable in doing the same things over and over again.
yeah,
Right? I was also talking to my friend about, breaking generational curses. When you're doing that, that means a lot of times that you're doing something different than people in your family did, your parents, your aunts, your uncles, your grandparents.
mhm,
Okay, so again, I use myself as an example. When I first decided to step out and work for myself, I have family who were, they meant well, very, concerned about me, and they came to me and they had questions, right? Like,
mhm,
well, what are you going to do about, your benefits? What are you going to do about your taxes? What are you going to do about saving for your retirement? And I said, there are ways. Like, there are people who are entrepreneurs that are out there who've been doing this for ages. So why
mhm,
not me? Why can I not do the research and do the same thing as them? So what did I do? I got myself a mentor. I found someone, another strong woman of color, who was already doing what I wanted to do. And I took time to pick her brain. And I
mhm,
even offered to work under her for a while. And I took a pay cut to work under her while I was still working my previous job.
mhm,
So I could watch her work and see how she got things done. So I was able to watch her, figure out ways to pay into her own retirement, find an accountant to help her do her own taxes, talk to someone to help her to pick the right insurance companies for herself
mhm,
and purchase her own insurance. So I needed to see it for myself. I needed to walk beside someone who's already living that life and making those choices so I can say, you know what, Cam? It's possible. I can do this.
mhm,
And that gave me the courage to go back to my family and say, it is possible because I've seen it. I've walked amongst someone else who's doing it, and I can do it too. And if I can do it, the next generation can do it too. So I have a nephew, right? I want him to know he has options, that there's more than one way to live your life.
mhm. I
So
mean,
when he
that's
gets to
that's the
my
way.
age, right? So when he gets to my age, he can pass those things down and his kids can live a better life. That's how you break generational curses. But
Mhm.
you gotta push past the anxiety, push past the fear.
I think that I think as long as we are, like I said before, not holding that information in for ourselves and actually really trying to show the next
Yeah.
person, whether it be our family member, whether it be a friend, whether it be a stranger, as long as we're doing those things, I think that we will be okay in the end. Like, the next person will be able to come up and figure out exactly what it is that they need to do or that they're wanting to do and ways of doing those things. It's
Right. You
not like
pass
just,
you pass it on. Well, something that really makes me sad, Jamel, is when I see and so it's so sad. I see some parents who do this. They'll look at their kids struggling and they'll figure it out. I had to.
hmm hmm.
I
And
had to
you
get
know what's
out
so
the
crazy?
mud. They will too.
That's something that's very common in like the black community, unfortunately. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to, shoot
We're not
nobody,
bashing.
or we're not bashing, but it's just the reality. Like, this really does come from the black community, and it's sad because it's like, you. And I'm not saying, oh yeah, look at other races, but it's just more so. I'm saying it in the sense of like other races, they'll figure out things together. It's a together thing, where that when it comes to African American community, it's more of a they'll figure it out. They have to figure it out. But then we also have to understand that sometimes it's because of we don't our parents or grandparents or aunts and uncles, they just don't know. And instead of them saying I don't know, it's like I won't say anything, and we'll just say, oh, they'll figure it out. But it's like you could be honest with me and tell me that you don't know. I think that that's where that
Right.
respect level will come in a
Yes.
lot better to where that now, okay, now that you don't know, okay, now let me go educate myself. Then let me come back and
Right.
educate you because now so you will know. So now when
Let's
you know
find
if
out.
you
Let's
do
figure it out together. Let's
together,
figure it
let's do
out
this
together.
together. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
that's what I think our community really do need to work on is just like figuring things out together and figuring out how ways that we can actually come together and build together, opposed to I'm gonna go build for me and then I may come back and help you or I may not come back and help you, but at the end of the day I'm gonna go build for myself and you will figure it out like you said earlier, you know.
Yeah, it's like crabs in a barrel. It's slave mentality, really. It's really sad. It's like that every man for himself, fend for
Mhm.
yourself type of mentality that we need to get away from in order
Mhm.
for us to better ourselves as a people. So
As a community, yes.
step out of your comfort zone, educate yourself, and then go back and help somebody else.
Give back to your community.
Yeah,
That's basically
we
what that
all need
is.
someone. Right. We all needed
Mhm.
someone to help us along the way. Don't forget that. It's very true.
Yeah. Yeah. That's something that I feel like personally I don't see a lot of. Like, like I know personally, like, my sister, like she's starting a business, and like, she's trying to figure out the ropes on her own, and seeing the steps that she needs to take to better her situation to where that, she can come back and educate her siblings and parents and
Exactly.
everyone, friends
Exactly.
on things that she's
Exactly.
learned, It may not be the same business, but it could be certain steps that you have to take to get you to where you need to, the avenue that you need to be on to get you to where you need to be. I think it's just all about taking the steps to figure out exactly how. I think that's just really what it is. Like we need to sit back and really, understand that we need to help each other. It's a community.
hmm hmm Something else we were talking about is the prevalence of, there's two things, right? We were talking about anxiety, but also I have to be honest, it's PTSD. There's a lot of anxiety and PTSD that's rampant in the Black community that we don't address. We sweep under the rug, but that is what keeps us. That's what's holding us back, and
Mhm.
that's what keeps us
Mhm.
stagnant.
Mhm.
Is there was that one time I tried something new,
It
and
went wrong.
everybody made fun of me, and I didn't like it. So
Mhm.
now I'm not going to ever do that again. I'm not going to ever
Mhm.
step out on faith and try something new again.
We all gotta be told no. Eventually, things are not
Right?
gonna work.
Okay. We all got to be.
No, no, that
We
word
got to
no
be
is
told
is
no.
so hard for people to hear and accept and be able to say, okay, you told me no. Now I'm gonna go take this route and see if I
That
can get
means
a
I'm
yes
gonna go
from this
somewhere
route.
else.
Yes, and
Yes.
I think that
Right. Just
a
like,
lot of
yeah.
times, our community, we don't want to hear that word no. Once you hear that word no, that's it. That's done. Like it's over with. Everything your whole dream is done. Opposed to simply saying, "No, I got the no. So now let me go back. Let me reflect on the reason why I got the no. Let me make sure all my things are together, and then let me go somewhere else. Let me go this route to see if I can get a yes from this way. Oh no, I can't get a yes from that way. Okay, I got another no. Let me try this way. Oh wow, I got a yes this way.
hmm
That's
Just
all we
like,
have to
right.
keep trying.
Just like failure, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to start running from failure,
Mm-hmm.
right? I haven't met anybody, and I mean, I haven't met anybody in life who's successful now who didn't fail. And they probably failed multiple times, and they probably sucked really hard for a long time at whatever they started doing. And they kept going. They didn't give up, and they got better at it. And they got bigger and bigger, and they grew into who they are today. But you don't get there without going through, taking the baby steps, without falling a couple times, skinning your knees, losing some games. And that means you might embarrass yourself,
But
but it's
that's
okay.
where I mean, but I think also that's where like getting into therapy to have someone to talk to really comes in, like because
hmm
I mean I understand like whether you're a man or a woman, whomever. I think that at the end of the day, I think that no one wants to be laughed at, no one wants to be embarrassed in a sense, at all. But I think at the end of the day, if you was to go to, your therapist and have these conversations with them, then I think that at that point you will build up that courage and build up that self confidence enough to where you will say, "Oh, it doesn't matter if you laugh at me because I'm going to
It
keep trying
doesn't.
until I get where I need to
Yeah.
be." Because that's the end goal. Your end goal is to get where you want to be, not okay. Well, it didn't work out, so I'm gonna just simply stay here, even though I know I have the potential to get here, but because everyone is telling me no, then at the end of the day, I'm not gonna try at all. You
Right.
know.
And then another thing though, most of the people who are laughing at you and who are talking mess about you and are hating on you is because they can't do it themselves.
Yes,
They can't do it
yes,
themselves, and or they don't have the courage to do it themselves.
yes,
They're
yes.
okay with being
They
sheep.
envying
They're
you.
they're
Yes,
okay with that.
yes, yes.
And so they're like, yeah, yeah, I knew you were gonna fail. I knew that. Because what are they doing? Because
Nothing.
if they weren't, they will be encouraging you, not laughing at you.
But then also that tells you who your circle is, who's your support system, who's your go-to friend. Like you were speaking of your friend that in the process of getting her business together and things like that. Like she understands that you're a part of her circle for you to sit there and let her
Mhm.
know exactly what got you to that point to say, hey,
Yeah.
fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Like once
Mhm,
she understands and you was able to express to her what steps you have to take. So that
mhm.
really does show you who your real friends are and who your real community is, like at the end of the day, so that hey, I'm having trouble with this. I need your help with this. Can you give me a little support? I just need like a little support to get me through this. But you understand who that person will be and who those people are once you go through this process. I think that stepping out of your comfort zone is very big. It's something very
It's big,
important
and
to do.
that's when you really see who's in your corner.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
When you step out on faith and you do something that you never done before.
Mm. Sometimes people they just don't be in it. It's okay. Like we're all we all have to fail at sometimes. It's okay. Failing is okay. Like I think maybe sometimes like I think personally like growing up in school, it's like that process of like, oh, I can't fail, I can't fail, I can't fail, but not really understanding that once you get older, it's okay to fail. And it's like, well, why is that okay?
Yes, you just said a word, Coach
Like,
Jay. You know you said a word.
why is it okay for me to fail in life, but it's not okay for me to fail in school? But at the end of the day, it's like you get a second chance. Just like you get a second chance in school, you get a second chance at life. Nothing ever, it's never the end. Like you keep going, keep trying, keep getting at it. Like keep doing it until you get where you want to be. Whether you get that A, whether you get that B, whether you get that C, whatever it is that you're aiming for, aim for it. Get to the top, try it.
You said a
Mm,
word. I gotta chime in on that because I talk to colleagues about this all the time. They ask me like, what do I think about the education system? And
mm,
it needs to be reformed because we we all don't learn the same. We all don't
mhm,
learn the same. Some
mhm.
of us need to fail again and
Yes,
again and again and again for
yes.
us to learn. And we don't need to have a pressure system that tells us we have to just memorize stuff and spit it out, and that's
Mhm,
learning. That's not learning. That's
mhm.
programming.
And who
Critical
thinks
thinking is actually learning. When you fail and you have to come back and fight, that's learning. Go
I,
ahead.
I think I think that like a lot of people really don't understand like it's programming. Like school is a program. Like we are programmed to learn exactly what they say we're supposed to learn, and then we're supposed to take that information and take that into the world, but not really understanding that that information don't set you up for the world. It only sets you up for you to be programmed to think the way that the person, whoever set this up, wants you to think. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the only way that it really sets us up. And it doesn't prepare you for real life, because at the end of the day, like a lot of times I sit back, I think when I was like in high school and stuff like that, I used to sit back and be like, okay, I'm here for, math, for example. I'm here for math. But at the end of the day, it's like, what what is the likelihood of me going through my life trying to figure out what is pi? Why do I need to know that? Like, why do I need to know that? Where part of my
I mean,
life am I going to use that?
right, okay, right. Unless you are like an architect or
Right,
something
right,
like that,
right,
right?
right.
But
If
this
you're
is
going
why,
to that,
okay, what I think is, I think that at a certain age, perhaps or somewhere around adolescence, you should be able to go to trade school. You should be able to be set up with a mentor and work amongst them, work in that field and go from there.
yeah.
Get
So
your
you can figure
basics,
out
your
what how it
reading,
is.
writing, arithmetic, and on to a trade.
Yes, yes, yes.
We got someone in the comments. Jamel, can you read off our comments? Do we have any questions in the comments?
Someone says empowering information. They are
Mm-hmm.
agreeing. School only sets you to be an employee, not an entrepreneur.
Right.
That's really good. That's something. That's something that is true. Like it does not set you up for you to start your own business. Figure out what are the steps. It does not help you at all to help you step out to figure something out new. To step out of your comfort zone. It only keeps you to be very normal, like everyone else. This is the baseline,
Right. I think
and
about all the successful folks who are college dropouts and high school dropouts, and they're successful.
and they're successful. And it's like, but mind if you really think about it, like a lot of the times people are not really understanding that. Like, I'm not encouraging no one, no kid, no child to drop out of school. I'm not encouraging that
No,
at all.
no, we're
But
not. We're not saying that.
we're not saying that. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, it does come to a point to where it's like, when are you going to set someone up for success? Like, school is not setting me up for success. School is only setting me up for me to be, like the commenter said, an employee. That's it.
To pass on to the next level. It's like I said before, I was saying I want my nephew to have options. I don't
Mhm.
want him to I don't want him to give up on himself at any point, but I want him to know that there's more than one way to get to your destination.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's not paint by numbers like they say.
But I
It's okay to
mean,
color outside the lines and use all the crayons. It is okay.
but that's something that you're showing him too. It's like, okay, it's okay. You could start your own business. You can live the life of starting your own business and being successful and going this way. You don't have to work under someone to be successful at life. And I think as the world continues to, grow and become bigger and bigger and different things that are going to come up, I think that eventually, like, things are going to change. Like,
Well, they
people are
are.
not going
We
to
are. They
work
are
for
going to change. We're in
right. We're
inflation.
already seeing it.
Inflation is off the hook. We're going
Yeah,
into a recession. People have to think outside the box. That regular, 9 to 5, White House
9 to
picket
5
fence
don't cut it.
type of idea is gone away with. We have to think differently to
And it's so crazy.
survive.
It's like you sit back and you think about, for example, like our grandparents, and in our grandparents' times, that white picket fence and the 9 to 5,
nine
the
to
the
five,
trash
clock in, clock
man,
out.
yeah, the
Yeah,
trash man. Those were the good jobs. Those are the jobs that were going to set you up to where you didn't have
the
to
worker
worry
bees.
about. Yeah,
Right.
like you didn't have to worry about a lot. You knew you were going to get a good retirement at the end. You knew life was going to be good. But it's like today, for people like me and you, it's like, no, we have to think outside of the box. We can't just simply think like, okay, well, I'm going to go be that trash man, or I'm going to go be, the postal worker, and I'm going to be there and I'm going to work and do this until 30 years come up, maybe 40 years, and then I'll go ahead and retire and kick back on the beach somewhere. It's like, no, you won't have any money to do that, unfortunately. Like, if you don't put money into these things, I think you won't be able to really enjoy life. You know what I'm saying? And I think that a lot of times that's where, like, in the past, or thinking about what our grandparents was teaching us growing up, it's like it can kind of sort of give you like a little bit of PTSD in a sense, like, because it's like you're sitting there and you're trying to, you're thinking about how they're telling you this is the way I'm supposed to live, but it's like the way you're programmed to think this is the way I'm supposed to live. It's not working out that way in the reality. It's like the
And I
reality
mean,
is,
I can testify to that. I'm someone who followed all the rules. I follow all the rules. Straight A student, top of my class, went straight to
mm-hmm,
college out of high school, straight to
mm-hmm,
graduate school, straight to a 9 to 5 job. I went above and beyond. always, you know, and I ended up burned out and depressed and despondent. So that's what's happening. That's what's happening to this generation. The
Yeah,
people who are coming up now in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, they are tired. They are sick and tired. But some of them don't even know it. They don't even realize it yet. They're
think
zombies. They're like
they're
zombies,
programmed.
just
Yeah,
continuing.
it's just that.
Yes, continuing to go with
I
the
mean,
status quo.
I think that that's just comes because it's like a lot of people that are in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, like they have families. So it's like at the end of the day, it's like I can't take that step
Hmm.
to bet on me, and
Are
just
you
to think
sure?
that this is a way that one
Yeah, yeah,
there's
yeah,
ways.
yeah,
This is the way
yeah.
one may think is, oh, I can't
Right.
do that because, I have my family. I have to make sure that food is on the table, clothes is on my kids' back. My husband or my wife has this and so on and so forth. It's like, but in all honesty, it's like you have to take a chance. Like you have to, like we said, get out of that comfort zone and really try and figure out exactly what is it that we need to do to figure out how to get to the next level. How do we not be so burnt out at the end of the day?
Hmm.
That's really what it is. We have another
Hmm.
question. What steps do you take personally to combat PTSD and those negative thoughts when starting on the path of entrepreneurship?
Well, Coach Jay, I think you had hit on something earlier, right? You were saying as someone who is branching out like this on their own for the first time, and they know they have these kind of symptoms, you got to talk to somebody. You got to find I don't know if whether it's a mentor, a life coach, a therapist, your pastor, someone who's already been where you've been. You cannot keep it to yourself. You have to speak out and really do that deep soul searching and figure out ways to heal yourself,
And not be
right?
afraid of like someone telling you something that you may not like either, because at the end of the day
Right.
we're always not going to get we're not going to always get good feedback sometimes, so we have to be open to the good, the bad, and the ugly, and
Right.
understand that everything that we may be asking or things that we may be doing may not always be right, but at the end of the day it's like these people are here to help us to the path to get to where we're needing to be. So
That's how you grow. Okay, I'll tell you one thing. Starting your own business, you really get to know yourself. You get to know all your habits, your good habits, your bad habits. You know what motivates you. You know if you're self-disciplined or not. You're gonna learn that really quick. Because guess what? It's all on you.
hmm hmm
And a
there's
lot of
nobody
times
you can
it's like
nobody you can
if
push
you
off
don't
to.
work, if you don't work, you don't eat. A lot of times it's like that
That's
until
a good way to
at
put it.
first, until you build it up, until you get to a point where the money's working for you. So I recommend anybody who's starting their own business, get a mentor, get a coach. Like I said, go to your pastor, go to therapy. You're gonna need support. Just because you work on your own don't mean you gotta do everything on your own. You still need support. You always need a village.
I will always say, like, it, when you're in this process, really get your community together while you're in the process.
Yes.
Like, really find
Yes.
your community while you're in that process. So that when times do get tough, because times are going to get tough, I think that, you have someone else to lean on and be able to vent and be able to express exactly how you're feeling. And like you said, what motivates you. So figure out what motivates you to continue to push through when those times are hard. Don't just be um, um, stuck or I can't think of the word, but the word I'm trying to use. But just keep pushing through, and I think as long as you continue to push through, I think that and lean on your community and lean on your mentor, your therapist, life coach, pastor, whomever, and your
Hmm.
community. You should be okay. I think that like that's really the steps to really take. Try something new, try something different. Like we said, we're gonna start that swimming. Try
Yes,
something new.
we're going to try something new. Yes, we
Try
just talk
something
about that
new.
too.
Getting out of
And
comfort zone.
I also want to put in the dig, right? If anybody out there is looking for a life coach, they can contact Coach Jay. If
Yeah.
you are looking for a therapist, you can contact me to get on my wait list, and we can
Mm-hmm.
always give you referrals.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But what
Mm-hmm.
what, what you're also witnessing is we're practicing what we preach. We're going to be talking about our own personal struggles and bringing it to the
Mm-hmm.
forefront to let you know that we're people
Getting them
too.
along.
A
Yeah.
good
Along.
leader, a good leader is someone who's been through something, right? I posted a quote last week that said, "Don't take advice when you're going on your journey from somebody who never left their house.
Mm-hmm. I saw that. I saw that.
If they've never left their home, how can they give you advice on your journey?" Right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, surround yourself with people who can be a safe space for you and who can encourage you, not shut you down, break you down, make you doubt yourself, make you feel bad about yourself. Anybody like that in your life, they're not for you. You might have to cut the cord. Not might, you will have to cut the cord
I was
if
gonna
you want
say
to
you
get where you want
will.
to get.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, so I mean, we're coming toward the end of our show tonight. I think that we covered a lot, and I'm sure that there's going to be questions, and so feel free to send us those questions. Feel free to comment, like and subscribe.
and
Coach Jay,
hit
I
the
don't know
little
if you have
belly
anything.
thingy. Hit the little
Do you
bell
have
so
any
you get the
last
reminders when
words?
we post. Like she said, like and subscribe. Go follow us on Instagram. Mine is Get Well Wit Mel. So WIT Mel MELL. So Get Well with Mel, and yours is
Self love is the key wellness, or Cam the Queen. You can follow me either one, and watch us on our healing journeys as we
yeah.
continue on.
We're
So.
healing. We're healing our mind, body, and soul. That's the goal for 2024. Is healing all the way around, not just mentally, but physically, our bodies, our souls. You know. So catch us next week. We'll be here for you. So all right, so
Thank you.
peace.
Bye.
We're out. Bye.